Hi, I'm ShiSh. I'm a global lead for startups within Microsoft, and I'm here at Shoptalk Europe, and it's been a really exciting 3 days, and also it's been great to be back at in-person events. And I've been doing EuroSys last week, and then we've had Shoptalk US as well, and there's been some interesting trends that we're seeing talking to retailers.
So the overall vibe that I'm picking up with the people I'm talking to is we just went through 2 years of tremendous acceleration. We stood up things we never thought we could stood up or weren't even sure we were going to stand up. Now they're popular. Let's get the duct tape off and let's make them work really well, because now we've got things like curbside pickup. I was talking to one retailer, he says, I got to focus on making sure the associates don't get run over in the parking lot. Let's be practical, because now we got volume. So fortunately, no associate's been run over in the parking lot, but they started by painting lines, and literally they stacked up shipping pallets to create areas for curbside pickup. So now they're stepping back and go, we got volume with that now. Let's put a roof on, let's get permits, let's get some heating. Up in Canada, in the middle of the winter, it's fun to sit in the car and get the product. Not so fun to be the associate delivering the product. So I think you're gonna really see some very pragmatic things, and at the opposite end of the spectrum, some very in the future, keep an eye on it. Let's talk about the metaverse. Is it real? How do we even think about it?
The sessions themselves have been terrific. There was a great one on the metaverse, and I realized that the metaverse for many people is sort of this abstract concept, and yes, it is still far out there in terms of when it ultimately is going to hit in a very big way, and yet already it is having some impact, some real impact. And of course, people want to understand how they can take the abstract and make it real within their companies now. That's one. And then of course, a pervasive theme is precision, and what the expectations are for customers and for employees, and how the bar keeps getting raised in terms of what can be done and what needs to be done for your customers in order to remain profitable as online and brick and mortar keep converging.
This term metaverse has kind of been the buzz for the last 6 to 12 months. And the biggest question people have about it is, what is the metaverse? Some people try and answer that with a definitive, the metaverse is A or B or what it will be. The truth is, there's no answer to that question yet, right? We are roughly where we were with the internet and e-commerce in 1997, 1996. We try to think about the metaverse as the best definition is it's a fundamentally different way that we are all going to experience the internet. A fundamentally different way of experiencing our digital lives, and it's going to be, really erasing the line between our digital and analog lives. There are thousands of companies and tens of thousands of individuals who are building technologies, tools, ideas, interfaces. So really that's how we frame it, right? Think about our internet future as being more immersive, more 3D, more integrated with virtual reality, but there's no definition of what the metaverse is now or will be.
My passion, sustainability in retail, and hearing a few people, especially ThredUp, talking through about how important it is that we start thinking about being more bold with what we can do, but not only for the good reason of actually saving the planet that we all live on, but also because there's incredible opportunity on the table to actually make tons of money that brands are just leaving at the moment. So it'll be exciting to see what disruption comes through there, and it's just kind of led into a really exciting first day, and I can't wait to see what the show's got for the remaining day and a half.
I think the amount of times we hear the word supply chain, not surprisingly, has come up probably in every meeting. I think hearing about who's doing what, how they're figuring it out, and what the timeline is for the fix is probably gonna be the most interesting part. So I think that's probably one. And then the second thing is channel. I think we're still on this direct kick, and I think that direct versus wholesale, understanding wholesale is not a bad thing, is a topic that comes up in a little bit. It's gonna come up a lot over the next several years.
Yeah, omnichannel continues to be one of the hot topics, as the digital commerce explosion during the pandemic has made its way over to retail, and now what we're seeing is a experience in retail stores where we're combining the benefits of physical and digital experiences in the store.
But the trend that we see is that those two channels have to come together as one. And when we see companies that have digital officers, consumers don't care about that. Being a digital officer is like being an officer of electricity. It's everywhere. So that all has to come together, and that's what I think is happening in part at this show, and we'll see that for the next several years.
We're seeing a load of different trends from a tech perspective, definitely seeing a lot around frictionless, so cashierless stores and how retailers are trying to figure out the best approach. Is it your mobile phone to access a store, or credit cards, or are we going to see more hybrid stores? A lot of automation within retail as labour forces are becoming quite difficult to get. We're seeing more robotics in store, shelf edge labels, seeing a lot of tech being used for good. Examples of that, things like liquid crystal displays that enable shoppers to help with things like donate to Ukraine most recently, or even using smartphone apps that can help people who are partially sighted navigate stores better. And obviously sustainability is still a really big topic that a lot of retailers and manufacturers are still sort of grappling with, focusing heavily on things like packaging and food waste, but also a lot around community and society, and then with these big overarching global initiatives around net zero.
There's a lot of topics in there, but omnichannel, listen, I mean, I've been pushing back on that term for a while. I think we're beyond that. I think we're just in commerce, but we like our buzzwords in our industry. So omnichannel this, harmonize that, unify this. You know, it's all good, but the important thing is we're keeping focus on what the customer actually wants. And when it comes to metaverse and all this other stuff, there's a lot of exciting, you know, tech out there. Yes, a lot of it is maybe, it can be a little too confusing. I don't know, we're still trying to figure out what exactly it can do. But I think it's still important to pay attention, and eventually we'll land on something that I think can be very exciting. Is it what we know today? Probably not.
I think some of the things that are coming through on the data side, which I find really exciting. Data's a huge part now, but understanding how the physical interacts with the digital is becoming more and more important. They're merging in very seamless ways. So there's some real interesting ideas here on how you can understand what's going on, how you can combine the channels and deliver a seamless experience for customers.
I've had a lot of conversations on the floor. Again, it is these conversations with retailers that is really driving a lot of, I would say, ideas, and we are taking all of these ideas back and trying to figure out what are the right ways to address them. So it's been actually great to be back at these conferences. Thank you.